So, it's another thing to be mindful of. Waterloo was another one that you picked out. And I think a part of this, the discussion needs to be when we're looking at condos, some of these areas have been high investor areas, right? Looking at the Peel region now coming out to Waterloo and seeing that big increase in new listing volume up 91% in the comparison the same time frame. We'll see where we pan out for the rest of it. But even looking at 2024, just how much higher we were. And you got to remember on one of the earlier charts where we were looking at this for Treb, we didn't surpass new listing volume until later on in the year in those charts. But it's almost the entire year where we've been up in terms of new listing when we look over 2024, and then especially where we're starting here in January of 2025.
Yeah, huge increase. Waterloo, some of it, I mean, a lot of people bought condos in Waterloo because it was a growth region. It was a region that I looked at for investment properties as well, because of the potential growth that was going to happen in that area. And clearly, there's been a little bit of a slowdown and will be a little bit of a slowdown when it comes to international students in that area. But one of the things I do believe when I was digging a little bit deeper into the size of the units that are taking up the market, it was actually 2 bedrooms that were mostly filling the market for the Waterloo area.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. A little bit of a different narrative when we talk about the Toronto market, where it's our small shoebox style investor, very high rental, student rental condos that were built that have been sitting because they just don't serve a family purpose. Now we're looking a little bit different here in Waterloo, where it's the 2 beds that aren't quite moving. I'd have to think that some of that is pricing based.
I think so as well. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look over at our active listings. Ooh, up 109%, and steadily above in terms of where 2024 was in comparison to previous years for active condo listings. So kind of more of the same story. I don't want to beat a dead horse in terms of what's going on for our active listings there in Waterloo, but it's not good. There's a lot of choice again there for buyers. A little bit more challenging if you were one of those investors.
Yeah, I will say though, when it comes to the sales in this area, it isn't as bad as Peel. It's probably a little bit in the middle of the pack for sales from what we've seen in the last year. So it does have that going for it. But still, you're at 109% uptick from last year in the active listings. That will weigh on the market for sure.
Yeah,